All right, let's get into it. Today, we're doing a full forensic breakdown of a very specific kind of predator, the spiritual freeloader. You know the type. The ones who slide into your DMs demanding free emotional labor, and then, the second you mention you have bills to pay, they weaponize guilt. Let's be very clear. This is not some misunderstanding. It is a calculated, manipulative tactic.
It always starts out so innocent, doesn't it? Hey, can you connect me with the dead? Simple enough. But then, there's always that little kicker right at the end. Is it free? And when you politely explain that no, this is actually a job, a business, you know what's coming next.
And there it is, that one word. Not, oh, okay, I understand, or thanks for letting me know. Nope, just rude. As if expecting payment for your time, your energy, and your skill is somehow a personal attack on them. This single word is the key that unlocks their entire strategy. So let's put these specimens under the microscope, shall we?
Okay, first up on the slab, we have a very common archetype. I like to call this one the instant, entitled ghost whisperer. This is the person who treats the spirit world like it's a fast food drive-thru.
So let's really dissect this. They hit you up, demanding a conversation with their dead grandma, like right now. The moment you establish a simple, professional boundary, the part where you get paid for your work, suddenly you're the bad guy. You're not just busy or running a business. Oh no, you are rude.
Let's just reframe this for what it is. They want deep spiritual insight delivered with next-day shipping, absolutely free of charge. And that accusation, that word rude, it has nothing to do with your tone. It's their tantrum. It's what happens when you have a spine and refuse to let them politely rob you of your time and energy.
All right, next up, and this is where things get, well, a lot more insidious. Meet Exhibit B, the trauma saleswoman. This is the person who uses their personal tragedy not as something to be healed, but as currency.
The technique here is really a masterclass in manipulation. First, they preemptively disarm you by saying they don't want to be rude. Then, boom, here comes the wall of text, a fire hose of every horrible thing that's ever happened to them. It's designed to overwhelm you. And that closing line, it's not a question. It's a demand dressed up as a desperate plea.
Let's be brutally, absolutely clear about this. This is not a cry for help. This is emotional mugging. They're throwing their pain at you, hoping you'll get so uncomfortable, so overwhelmed with guilt that you'll just fold and give them what they want for free. They are holding their own tragedy to your head and demanding your labor as ransom.
Listen, your suffering, no matter how real and how painful, does not give you a free pass to disrespect other people's work. It's not a coupon code you get to apply at the checkout of someone else's life. I mean, if you're functional enough to type out a whole saga to a complete stranger, you're functional enough to hear the word no.
So, after looking at all the evidence, what's the final verdict? What is this really, truly about? Well, it's actually a lot simpler and a whole lot uglier than just being cheap.
That word, rude, is a weapon. It's a control tactic. It has absolutely nothing to do with your politeness. It's the shrapnel that flies when their attempt to control you blows up in their face. You refuse to play a part in their little fantasy where your time and energy belong to them, and for that, you have to be punished.
You have to understand, they live in a completely different reality. In their delusional world, taking up your time for free is some kind of sacred act of helping. But you charging for that same time? That's a sin. Your professional policies aren't business. They're a personal attack. Their whole worldview is built on this fantasy that spiritual gifts must be free, while totally ignoring the fact that spiritual labor has a very, very real cost.
Which brings me to a declaration. You can call it a manifesto. This is for every single tarot reader, every medium, every healer, every creative out there who's been told that their work should just be free.
Let's get one thing crystal clear. This is not charity work.
It's spiritual labor. It's hours of study, practice, and burnout. It is high-stakes emotional surgery, and we're the ones holding the scalpel.
Think about it. You would never, ever expect a brain surgeon to operate on you for free and then just get paid in hugs and good vibes. We are not your personal emotional first aid kit. We are not Mother Teresa in eyeliner.
And here's the kicker. You want to know who never, ever asks me for free readings? The people who are genuinely struggling, the ones who are truly desperately broke. And why is that?
It's because they have self-respect. They understand what value is. They know that asking for something you can't pay for isn't asking, it's taking. They would rather wait with their dignity intact than demand something they haven't earned. People who get it never cross that line.
So, what do you do when one of these people comes for you? I'm going to arm you. This is the final bite. This is your arsenal of responses to shut this down once and for all. Get ready to copy and paste. Here are your mouth-shutting closers. Number 1, rude is expecting free labor from strangers while calling it love and light. Number 2, if you can't afford it, you don't get it. That's not cruelty, that's commerce. And my personal favorite, number 3, you're not asking for help, you're demanding servitude.
So I'll just end with this, a question for anyone who's ever been tempted to call a service provider rude for having a price list. Before you hit send, I want you to go back and reread your own message. And then ask yourself, why do you believe that someone else's labor should come with a price tag made of your guilt?